but the erasure, of this work from the web, and the erasure of its use of technologies, and this idiomatic use of technologies was again, in a sense, an allegory of the loss of, not only parts of experience from the point of view of the perceiving subject, and the traumas of the perceiving subject, or the traumas that the perceiving subject might face in particularly marginalized subjects within the social political schemas in which we live in the United States, but also the loss of these material technologies, right? So all of that goes into the way that I fragment my work, or tend to create situations in which things become lost, and things can always be found. There is a time machine, but for the internet, but I haven't been able to find any examples of shaman machine on it. So I'm going to go and see if we can find any more examples quickly of this term that certainly doesn't belong to me there. All right, so this one, this is actually my use, and this is not shaman machine, but this is a work published by a different entity, and then I had noted that it's from this work that I had produced online, called shaman machine. So and I hadn't mentioned before, but I don't know exactly the way that these two recordings will interface in the final recording that I produce for this work, or if they will interface at all. But this is a selection from one of the poems that existed in Shaman Machine. And then here, see, there's a problem, like in the way that it's displayed here. There really are no portals. So day one, right, is on the same page as I'm having to scroll and use my left hand to hold both devices this time. Okay, so where are we? Okay, so there's day two. But see, under Shaman Machine, the idea of the portal would have been represented by, within day one, right, there would have been a link at the bottom, an idiomatic technological root, right, or, I'm calling it idiomatic, but it belongs to the technology. It's already there. I didn't have to invent it myself. It's a link. We know what a link is, right? All right. And then sometimes there would be missing links as well, and then that was, of course, a pun. But also this idea of a dead end, or perhaps a paradoxical figure in which a staircase leads to the origin of itself, right? In this Escherian way, right? Or and that referred to certain kinds of discourses in postmodernism as well. Anyway, in the original Shaman Machine, which this is not, this is a representation of Shaman Machine published by another entity, and I chose this entity for a number of reasons, which I won't discuss here because it becomes too complicated. But it belongs to this long performance piece, almost decades-long performance piece that I've referred to as acts, and that involves experiences in various institutions, including asylums, and is focused on the social construction of mental illness, both in the United States and not, but largely in the United States and largely in those areas in which I resided, playing out various and sundry roles within these institutions and industries of mental health organizations. All right, and institutional and asylums, and various kinds of organizations of space and activity that are designated to subjects, who are sorted into this category of mentally ill or mad, or whatever you wants to refer to it as, and the subcategories within those categories. But without getting into all of that, on Shaman Machine, this portal, day 2, would have been a link on the first page and would have opened to a completely different page, right? Okay, and so here the portals are missing, and I didn't attempt to explain that to this publisher because it was both too complicated and too demanding. And then there will be a day 3, and then in the original Shaman Machine, this would have been a portal, and day 3 would have been a link within day 2. So you can see how there's a system of subordination, right? Or instead of parapraxis, right? Hypotaxis, right? So there's a implicit, implicit comparative analysis of hypotaxis and subordination and subset, and the notion of portal, as opposed to this parapraxical presentation as it's presented here, in which everything has equal value and is all on the same page, right? And there may have been a play between those two as well, because I like to play between the lines and between the concepts, as well as linearly 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's the idiomatic use of an actual construction of portal, as opposed to a descriptive construction.
Instead of parapraxis, right? Hypotaxis, right? So there's a implicit, implicit comparative analysis of hypotaxis and subordination and subset, and the notion of portal, as opposed to this parapraxical presentation as it's presented here, in which everything has equal value and is all on the same page, right? And there may have been a play between those two as well, because I like to play between the lines and between the concepts, as well as linearly 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's the idiomatic use of an actual construction of portal, as opposed to a descriptive construction of portal. Instead of parapraxis, right? Hypotaxis, right? So there's a implicit comparative analysis of hypotaxis and subordination and subset, and the notion of portal, as opposed to this parapraxical presentation as it's presented here, in which everything has equal value and is all on the same page, right? And there may have been a play between those two as well, because I like to play between the lines and between the concepts, as well as linearly 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so that's the idiomatic use of an actual construction of portal, as opposed to a descriptive construction of portal.
I hadn't mentioned that, but I don't know exactly the way that these two recordings will interface. But this is a selection, the final recording, that one of the poems that I produced for this work that existed in Shaman Machine. And then here, see, there's a problem. This is like a selection from it's displayed here. One of the poems, there really are no portals. So day 1 existed in Shaman Machine, and then here, see, there's on the same page as it's displayed here. There really are no portals. So day 1. Okay, so here's is on the same page. Okay, so there's day 2. But see, under Shaman Machine, the idea of the portal was improvisational. Okay, so there's within day 1, right? Okay, so there's day 2. There would have been. But see, under Shaman Machine, the idea of the portal was idiomatic technological. Within day 1, right? I'm calling it idiomatic. But it belongs to the technology. It's already idiomatic technological link, right? Right? All right, and then sometimes there would be missing link, but it belongs to the technology. Of course, a pun, but also this idea of all right, and then sometimes there would be missing links as well. That was of course a pun, but also this idea in which a staircase leads to the origin of itself, right? Or perhaps in this Escherian way, a paradox or a figure, and that referred to certain staircase kinds of discourses and post origin as well. Anyway, in the original Shaman Machine, Escherian way representation of Shaman Machine, and that referred to certain other kinds of discourses entity, and I chose this entity in the original Shaman Machine. I won't discuss here because it becomes the representation of Shaman Machine published by another entity, and I chose this entity for decades reasons, which this performance, long performance piece, almost various institutions, including asylums, and is focused on the social construction of involves experience, both in the United States and various institutions, largely in the United States and largely in those areas is focused on the social construction of various and sundry both in the United States and institutions, largely in the United States and largely in those areas, and then resided all right, and various and sundry roles within these institutions and organizations of space and activity that are designated. Two subjects who are sorted into this kind of organizations of space and activity that are designated, and two subcategories within those categories. But without getting into all of that, on Shaman Machine, refer to it as this and the subcategories on the first page, those categories. But without getting into all of that, right? On Shaman Machine, so here this missing, and I didn't attempt to explain, would have been a link on the first publisher and would have opened us to a completely different page, right? It was both too complicated and too demanding. Portals are missing, and I didn't attempt to explain that. And then in the original Shaman Machine, this would have been a portal. It was both too complicated and too demanding. Day 2. So you can see how there's a system of, and then in the original Shaman Machine, this would have been a portal, and day 3 would have been a link. Praxis, right? The hypo system, right? So there's a subordination. There's a implicit, or instead of implicit imperatives, right? Analysis of so there's a hypotaxis and implicit subordination and subset implicit and imperative analysis, as opposed to hypotaxis and parapraxical presentation. So it's mentioned here, subset, in which everything has equal value and is all portal, as opposed to, right? And there may this parapraxical presentation between those two presented here, because which everything has equal value between the lines and between the concepts, right? And there may have been a play between those two as well. All right, so that's the idiomatic between the lines and between the actual construction of a portal, as opposed to linearly a descriptive construction of a portal. Now, in this text, that's the idiomatic doorways or gates construction of a portal, as opposed to perhaps keep in mind that a descriptive construction is in a certain way is modern, is the postmodern conceptual gate and bar was, and gate and bar. And we've discussed, these gates and bars, even that famous line, perception of the doors of perception, which is from William Blake, was used as a title in the Aldous Huxley essay, perception. He discussed imaginary, fictional, experiences